Welcome, everybody, to the show where we call out the BS and we point out the truth. This is the first episode. I still don't have a name for the show, but I'm super excited to get deep and down with those who want to be the best versions of themselves, the best leaders they could possibly be, and to inspire others. If you don't know who I am, my name is Giuseppe Mellone. For the past 12 years, I was in the fitness industry, started from the bottom, grew all the way to director of ops, leading over 100 employees, scaling locations to $1 million in profits. And I believe I have enough experience to help others change their lives and become the best leaders for themselves. I also run a program called Rise Up Leadership, where we take leaders on and help them become the best versions of themselves so that they can increase profits, grow their business, and not burn out. If you're interested in learning more about that, I'll tell you some information at the end of this episode because I really want to get into it and give you guys as much value, because the goal and the point of doing this show is to help you, is to give you support, because there's not enough support out there on this topic. And leadership is a very advanced skill. It's not something you can learn from a book. It's not something that you can just learn from getting a certification. It's something that you actually have to go through. It is the pain, the trials, and experiences that truly make a leader great. And so I want to give you insight from my world, my perspective, from how we help our clients, and give you all the information completely free on here on the YouTube or wherever we decide to include these episodes. So today, I want to talk about a question that one of my clients has brought up to me. And he said, Giuseppe, I have a hard time getting my employees to hold themselves accountable. How can I get them to be more accountable so they do their job? And we hear that a lot, right? We need to be held accountable. In my opinion, I think accountability is the worst form of leadership that you can have. Because what is accountability? When we actually look at what accountability is, accountability just means that if we don't follow through on our requirements, we will pay a consequence. Something bad will happen, right? Or something good will happen because we hold ourselves accountable. But the focus is not about the delivering of the work or what we're trying to do. It's focused on the consequence of not doing something. So people are only going to rise to a standard of making sure they don't get in trouble, which leads to very lazy work. But instead, if we understood that it's not about accountability, that accountability is a crutch, but it's more about creating a moral obligation, a moral truth behind what people do. And you can do this for any position, any role. I don't care if you're a fry cook. I don't care if you clean toilets. I don't care if you're a CEO of a Fortune 500 company. You have a moral obligation to do your job because people rely on you. You have a mission and a vision that you're trying to capture with the work that you're doing. And you not showing up to that is the consequence of not following through. And if you just think, well, if I don't do my job and I'm going to get fired or I'm going to get written up or we're going to lose money, that's the accountability side. But if you think about, if I don't show up to my job, I'm letting my teammates down, I'm preventing people from their growth, I'm preventing from helping anybody, that's more of a moral obligation. And when people understand that it is their moral obligation to follow through with what they need to do, they don't just do great work. They go beyond that. They start thinking bigger. And let's be honest, as a leader, we are not the brightest people in the room. Leaders are the people that are willing to take the risk to stand up for others. They're willing to speak out and lead and direct. But it doesn't mean we're the smartest people in the room. We surround ourselves with very smart people. And we need to take ideas from other people in order to be successful. There is no business on the face of this earth that was truly self-built. It was built by people, and people are essential for growth. But if people are operating based on fear and not by moral obligation, you're never going to grow. And there's someone I know who has built many companies, okay? Shouldn't say built. He was a franchisee for a very big brand, and he was one of the largest franchisees out there. He started another company that did well, but in both of those companies, he was kicked out because he operated based on fear. He created fear within those people. If you didn't do your job, you were fired. If he showed up and you didn't look in the best way that you possibly can, you were fired. You were written up. Oh, you better do this, otherwise you're going to get in trouble. It didn't work, and eventually it went against him. And that's why he has to continue starting and rebuilding businesses. Versus the people who I see who have grown such successful companies, they lead by a mission. And it's so important as leaders to have the vision for what we're trying to build, because that's how we tie the moral obligation in. So understand this. If you're leading based on the idea of accountability, we need to hold people accountable. That's a low standard of leadership. But if you're leading basing on a moral obligation and focusing on the mission and how important everyone's job is, everyone's role in the business is, titles don't mean shit. They only mean who's responsible for what. Everyone in the business is a leader. Everybody, including the janitor. They're a leader in the essence of making sure the bathrooms, the studio, the office is spotless and clean. Because if it's spotless and clean and you have potential prospects walking in, they're going to appreciate how clean it is. That's a form of leadership, and it's a moral obligation. The janitor shouldn't be doing their job because they need to clean. They should be proud that they cleaned something, that they're a part of something, that they made something better to help the company move forward. And as leaders, we need to remind our people of this. We have to be dialed in and understanding that everyone's role is that essential. It's a moral obligation. And if you have people on staff who don't understand that, then they don't belong. And that's the hard part of leadership, is making those tough decisions. So in closing, don't lead with accountability. Lead with moral obligation. And I promise you, you won't just grow faster. You won't just have teams doing their job and following through. You're going to be building the next level leaders for you to help you grow your business. Or if you're a manager and a director and you want to move up on the ladder, you're going to find the perfect replacement for your position so that you have the opportunity to grow. And I know this because that's what I did in my career. That's the only way I could grow, is I had to build leaders who were working for me to be able to take over the position so that I was able to get the next promotion and I was able to move up. So lead with moral obligation, not accountability. If you love this information I'm giving you, please subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up, share it with people who need to hear this mission and this message. If you want to chat with me, because I love talking to our people, go to my Instagram, shoot me a DM 32 so I know that you came from this video. We can definitely chat. And if you want to learn more about the Rise Up Council, where we have a bunch of leaders come together, we talk once a week about more detailed strategies and how to implement things so that they can build a business they love, so they're not burning out. We can also talk on Instagram as well. Thank you and have a wonderful day.